because the thought is like, we only think about the souls, kind of like what Jesus said, and how could you benefit if you gain the whole world but forfeit your soul? We sort of think about that as an evangelistic appeal to somebody who might be far from God. Like, don't waste your life chasing after fame and fortune. Trust in God for your eternity, and that's what matters, right? And that's, of course, all true. But what happens is we sort of stop thinking about the soul once you're saved. And so leaders, you're sort of in the business of helping people come into a relationship with God. So you're casting that vision all the time. But really, we don't ever talk about the human soul outside of its eternal destiny. Like, we talk about saving souls, we talk about all of those things, evangelism, and so we should, but we just don't have an imagination or a rhetoric. And so the irony is that so many people in vocational ministry are, in fact, the ones whose souls are in very grave danger. They might be saved. I'm not talking about eternal danger, but your soul, your life, biblically understood, those two concepts are inextricably woven together. And you can have a quality of life. Your soul can be doing well or not so well. And sadly, it has become almost the norm, almost expected, that people in vocational ministry, after a certain period of time, you just sort of expect they're burnt out, they're struggling to keep up a healthy life of their own soul in the midst of their service and giving. And, you know, back in the 80s, like when I was coming into ministry and stuff, it was like, oh, I'd rather burn out than rust out. But those were sort of the only two options presented, and I don't think those are the only options. And we have now routinely created environments and even systems that continue to applaud the external work that leaders do without having the right, in my opinion, imagination for the intentionality that needs to go, like you're talking about a plan, the intentionality that needs to go around the health of their souls. Yes, they're saved, but their souls need strengthening. And so our team started playing with the idea of S.O.S, which is that universal distress signal. And a lot of leaders will not feel distress because they're so good at driving and keeping on going and ignoring possibly any of the symptoms that their soul may not be well. So we were not only wanting to say save our souls, but also strengthening our souls. And that's what I think every leader needs to be able to see themselves in. Ministry, leadership, it takes a toll. It extracts energy. And even Jesus knew when power had left him.
Yes.
That was Jesus. It stands to reason that you do not have the capacity to give and give and give and give and give and give with no strategy for replenishment. So that's what I think of in a lot of how we're thinking about S.O.S and strengthening our souls, because I want to see this become the new normal, that it's understood, it's presumed, and it's an open conversation to make sure that leaders are surrounded with the right relationships, practices, whatever it takes for them to be serving out of a place of health, because I think we've seen enough of what happens when we don't.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more finance, governance, and fundraising news and insights for your church or ministry.